Stop at the office.
I wasn't able to go, but he was home. Don't get the wrong drug.
Thank you.
I'll come to my fourth session. Let me see.
These are my neighbors over there. Same town.
They know it's just going on, but it's what was a picture, you know, like, but I'm slow down the floor.
There is some around, you know,
They run some bend on this poor guy's got.
I'm making sure we have resources on how that.
This you think it's so. Oh,
Good evening. The meeting of the mayor and board of aldermen of the city of Holly Springs is now called to order. All right, now that's for prayer. And did I see Chief Crane? Chief Crane, will you lead us in prayer?
Yes, ma'am. Pray. They have a Father come on in. Thanks for all we've done, all that you about the Father, as you come in this board meeting tonight, be our board members, our mayor, and citizens of Hollis Springs, to resolve of issues that concern the citizens here, our town, and other officials that we may have to deal with along the way. While we're coming to you tonight, asking you, please let them make sound decisions. In your name, for the citizens of Hollis Springs, and our mayor, board members, and all that are involved. This we ask in our Father's name. Amen.
Please stand, roll call.
Alderman Fountain.
Present.
Alderman Jones, absent. Alderman Ship.
Present.
Alderman Teal.
Present.
Alderman Merriweather, absent. Mayor, you have 3 board members present.
All right, please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America
and to the
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now let's for a moment of silence and also prayers for the following, for the family of Mr. Don Waller, the family of the former Montpelier Mayor James Jim Castleberry, prayers for the family of Mr. Ivy Lee Kennard, prayers for the family of Supervisor Lamond Lee Ellery Malone, prayers for the family of Mr. Willie Henry Frost, prayers for the family of Miss Tamika McNeil. I'm going to add that one. And then prayers for the family of Miss Tammy Ford Faulkner, who was the daughter of the former principal of Holly Springs High School, Mr. Joseph Ford, his youngest daughter. And then prayers for the family of Miss Cassandra Briggs. And also I'm asking for prayers for the family of Mr. Tyrone Gibson, who was my cousin. We lost him today, so we're asking you all for prayers for those families. Moment of silence, please. All right. And next, you see before you the revised regular agenda, putting out some of the things that that were added or taken away. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the revised regular agenda.
I got ready to adopt the
All right, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Teal, second by Alderman Schiff to adopt the revised agenda. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes, 3 ayes, 0 nays. All right. The first thing we have is a motion to authorize the ratification of payment in the amount of $33 to summer youth worker, Mr. John Boxdale, for 4 hours that were inadvertently not included in the last claims docket. And so we already paid him, and now we're asking for a ratification of that payment in the amount of $33.
I move to authorize notification of payment amount of $33 to summer youth worker, Mr. John Barksdale, for 4 hours and verbally not including the last month.
It's been moved by Alderman Schiff, second by Alderman Teal. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes, 3 ayes, 0 nays. All right. Item number 2, motion to authorize payment of $732.50 to the Department of Finance and Administration. This is the municipal court May 2024 settlement.
Mayor, I motion to authorize payment of $732.50 to the Department of Finance and Administration to municipal court May 2024 settlement.
It's been moved by Alderman Teal, second by Alderman Johnson. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes, 3 ayes, 0 nays. Item number 3, motion to authorize transfer of $256 from the general ACH fund to the general operating fund. This is the in-court May 2024 settlement.
Motion to authorize transfer of $256 from general ACH fund to general operating fund, which is the in-court May 2024 settlement.
Second.
It's a move by Alderman Teal, second by Alderman Schiff. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes. Alderman Mary, what did you? Yes, I said aye. Okay, make sure that I said aye. 4 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 absent in Jones. Also, please allow the record to reflect that Alderman Mary Withers has entered the meeting. Item number 4, property insurance. Mr. Reginald Thompson, have you heard from him, Jones?
Yes, ma'am. He said it was gonna be 10 minutes.
It's right there. Okay, so we'll hold that. All right, and I'm gonna hold item number 5 that received some information today, so that would be an executive session on matter. Item number 6, public comment. All right, so the first 7 people. So first we have Ms. Kat Dawson. Please come to the podium, and will you please state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. I'm Pat Dawson. How are you? Good to see y'all again. I just came here for one reason, and one reason only this evening. I want to implore the Board of Aldermen on behalf of the employees of this town, of the city of Holly Springs, to consider taking action in employee matters, in the interference, sabotage, harassment, toxicity, meddling, consistent department head bullying, and bullying of all employees. This is not new behavior. People who engage in this behavior typically have some other issue that I'm not equipped to say what it is. I don't know what it is, but I do know that the behavior has been consistent and ongoing from Mayor Gibson. I know that the board has been aware of it, and at some point, you all do have to take ownership and action against Mayor Gibson for what she is doing. Every department head pretty much who's come through here has the same fight. You never stop fighting. You never get to do your job because of the incessant meddling, picking, sabotage, everything you can think of to make a person's job difficult is what Mayor Gibson does. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of knowing about it. I don't work here, but you all know. And at some point, you're going to have to hold yourselves accountable for what you are and are not doing. And that is all I have to say. Have a good evening, everybody.
Next, we have Mr. Jay Smith. Please come here. What's your name? You have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon, Jim Smith. Received my my utility bill yesterday via electronic delivery. Haven't gotten it in the mail yet, but it was due June 15th. As of this afternoon, the website still doesn't have the correct charge per kilowatt hour or the service charge listed. I know I brought it up once before and y'all said he was only here for 4 days, but I was wondering if we had any idea when the new general manager is going to be able to come in and give an assessment of what he thinks the status of HSUD is, so we can get some of these things corrected and I can get bills in a timely fashion and ensure that the right amount I'm being charged. But besides that, have a good evening. Wonderful day. God bless the weather in the last couple of days. A little bit hot, but it's beautiful out. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
No problem.
Next, number 3, we have Mr. Lee Smith. Please come to the podium, state your name, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name's Lee Eric Smith. Good to be back in this hall again on a different side. But here to just kind of address on behalf of myself and a handful of other landowners in Ward 1 near the old Walmart site. As you all know, the economic center tends to go wherever Walmart goes. That's been true of Holly Springs as well. And consequently, on our side of town, where Walmart used to be is, not doing as well as it used to and attracting some unsavory elements that, are, everybody has to live. I understand that, but they don't have to tear up property and steal things as well. I want to acknowledge my neighbors, good neighbors, Raj and Mr. Bolden here, we all kind of have gotten together and, had a conversation about, what our needs are on that side of town. And we're hopeful that, the board and the mayor will be able to, help provide some sort of support, whether that's in the way of resources, from HSPD, maybe more frequent patrols or I don't know, sky cop lights or something, but hopefully we would love to, have a little bit more support in terms of bringing that side of town back because, and this I think is just the first step where, I've had a dream for a long time of doing something with our family property there, the former home of Mayor Smith and the property that's adjoining it. And hopefully I'll have more to talk about on that in the future, but for the time being, we just want to make sure that, property is safe and being looked after, and that, we don't feel like we're alone out here just kind of, looking out for each other's backs. We want to feel like, our city leaders and our city police department has our back as well. And, I'm happy to take, any thoughts or questions in the few moments we might have left. If not, I want everybody to have a wonderful 4th of July holiday.
One question. So, what do you say the crime issue is?
So some of what I know has happened, obviously there was that convenience store that was across the street from my home property. And even before I had kind of not been living there for a while, I know that there had been, some shootings there, a murder even. I understand that property got so problematic, they just kind of closed up and boarded up everything. And from what I understand, there was an individual who was kind of staying in the boarded up place that got ran out of there. And the question is, when they can't go there, well, then where do they start looking? And they start looking at places like, our family properties there across the street, Raj's place over there at the Oyo. And Mr. Bolden has had things stolen from his property as well over there. And so we're just trying to, shout out and ask for some help. And certainly we want to do whatever we can do on our side. Anything we can do as landowners. I've, taken some measures, planning to take some more relative to security lights and cameras and such. But again, none of us want to feel like we're out here alone. Especially because like everybody else in the city, we contribute to the tax base as well. So, we want to have, we're not asking for special treatment, but we do want treatment. So, and yeah.
Good evening.
Hello, Aldi.
And I totally concur with that. Our church is in that vicinity. as well. I would like to give a shout out to the police department on last Sunday. We got to the building, there was a note under the door that they had, monitored the property. And I think it was like 1:02 a.m. That they had let us, told us that they hadn't been by there. So I would just employ them to maybe expand on that, particularly your property, your property that's kind of up behind
Yeah.
trees and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that will help the lighting as well. But they are making some concerted efforts, as I see. But I'm glad that you came forward tonight, so we focus a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think I speak on behalf of, my colleagues here. Like, we're ready to do whatever we have to do on our side to, what we can do within the law, within the bounds of the law and regulation, but when it gets past that, we certainly need some help. So thank you, and shout out to HSPD. Thank you for your
Welcome
service.
back.
And thank you. Thank you. We're looking forward to doing great things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And the last person we have listed is Mr. Gerald LaSure. Please come and state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. How you doing? My name is Delbert LaSure from Holly Springs, Mississippi. And I just want to come up and I want to thank you, Mayor, for the expungement clinic. I think that they kind of got overlooked, and the help that it extended to a lot of people in our community throughout Marshall County and Benton County and Tate County. And it's really great that you will extend those type of services to give a person a second chance. And hopefully in your next administration, you can continue to do those things. Because what this city has lacked for so many decades is integrity. And you have exemplified that. And I just want to make sure, on behalf of the community itself, because I'm out there, and I want you to know that people appreciate what you've done, and we look forward to electing you by a landslide in the next election. Thank you. Y'all have a blessed day.
All right, next, I see Mr. Thompson has come in.
Didn't get a chance to sign the list.
Okay. It isn't the board's pleasure. I think Mr. Glenn Johnson is expressing that he wants to speak. Is there a consensus for him to speak since he missed the agenda sign?
I didn't know.
I told you the other day on the phone.
No, that ain't what I'm talking about. I didn't know. It's so much unchanged. Okay. Let me address myself to the board.
State your name for the record.
Oh, Glenn Miller Johnson.
Okay, and you have 3 minutes.
I only need 3. Oh, what I want to address to the board, well, as mayor, I'm not here to beat up on nobody, but it's something been on my heart for a long time. You can't tell people who to hire and all that, but I will say this. If I had to start a petition, I'm going to do it. Sometimes people have to run background check. When I ran for, lost by 5 points. Because it was a Republican state that I ran in. It is sad. I don't hold nothing against the board. I'm not holding nothing against Ms. Gibson, but Ms. Gibson, we did talk about certain things at Big Star. I just want to bring this to your, remember, I'm not here to fight you, against you, but I want the board to know when you hire somebody, you don't hire your friend. That was a friend thing. It do bother me. Miss Fonda from, we call like the Fed. You remember, but the board didn't know. But I'm bringing it to the board attention. I'm asking you to resign Miss Fonda because it's not that, it ain't got nothing that I got anything against Miss Fonda. But you hired the wrong person. I know Miss Fonda personally. Go back and do your research. Wait a minute. Don't cut me off.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Well, I'm gonna say this right here. Boy, y'all can make the decision. I'm asking y'all, the board, let Ms. Fonda go back to the Fed. She's not for the people. This is a politics thing. But I'm gonna say this right here. If I had to get a petition, I can promise you this. And it's not a threat, it's a promise. She is not for the people. She robbing the people blind.
Mr. Johnson.
Oh, I know you're gonna cut me off. I know I ain't even did 3 minutes.
And I don't know why.
No, it's the
I don't know
truth.
why that he has not been stopped, but previously when people made certain comments about individuals, they were stopped. You are not going to be allowed to make defamatory comments.
I do my petition. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get her out of there.
To do that.
Well, boy, y'all got the power. Please do what the right thing, because I know. And let me say this, Mr. Gibson. Watch this. I'm gonna bring that to your attention. Since you want to cut me off, I'm not fighting against you, but I want the board to know that. I told you we talked, just me and you, at Carlisle Big Star. I said, I asked you one question. Do you know anything about Carl Robinson? Carl Robinson killed his wife and killed himself.
Again, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, I know you don't want to hear that, but that's the truth.
Well, the same as I would not allow people to talk about.
But I will be talking about that on the radio.
There are
I
certain.
can guarantee you. I guarantee you
There are
that.
certain things that people.
Okay, that's okay.
And I wouldn't allow them to say.
Just Benita, do the right thing. Let her go. Because she's taking advantage of the people. I don't care about who gets mad.
Thank you, Mr.
That's why you want to cut me off. It's okay. I will be on that radio. Believe that.
Please do.
And I will be campaigning.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I ain't mad at you. It ain't about you. You know what I'm talking about. It's good. It's good.
All right, so next on the agenda, Mr. Thompson, are you here? And so,
Later.
okay.
I just want to come up this time. I just want to say, you know, in these board meetings, these are the business of the city. And I understand that everyone has the right to come up. We open it up to the people to come and express themselves and bring light before the board. But when there is a outburst of this nature and talking, you know, I don't know if it's correct or whatever, but I would expect for our security to kind of address. You know, I know people have the right to speak. I'm all for freedom of speech and of everything, but sometimes things get out of line. And we call for a point of order, Mayor. I think the gavel should be struck, it should be stopped. If things are getting out.
And I appreciate that. And I'm going to say as well, I allowed something that transpired earlier from Ms. Pat Taylor-Lawson that is equal to defamation. As people know, the false charges that she filed against me were dismissed, and to have her to continue to pop up and make the false statements against me is always so long that I will allow it. But God will speak last. God will speak last. And so, Mr. Thompson, please come forward.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Good evening to Mayor Gibson and the Board of Aldermen and all the officials here. I appreciate your time. I wanted to come today, in your board material, you all have the renewal for your property coverage for both the City of Holly Springs and the Holly Springs Utility Department. So just wanted to present that to you all. The property coverage renews on July 22nd. So we want to give you all enough time to review it and to be able to take action. So you've got this meeting and the next meeting if you choose to take action. But we just wanted to kind of go over really quick the numbers. The increase was not too terrible. On the City of Holly Springs, collectively, we have an increase of about 7.25%. The property coverage last year was 32,239. This year is 34,482. The equipment coverage associated to those buildings was $1,668. This year is $2,028. And then you all chose to sign up for terrorism coverage. The terrorism on the city actually went down from $600 to $500. So your total renewal, if you renewed as you did last year, is $37,010 from $34,507. So that's a 7.25% increase. And yeah, and one of the things we've been doing is trying to, there was a lot of discrepancy on what the city owns, what the utility department owns, so we're trying to put everything on the right schedules. For the utility department, we had, last year's premium was 23,678. This year's premium is 26,943. And then the equipment side of things is a lot greater on the utility department because we're insuring the transformers and all of the things that conduct electricity. So your equipment side of the fence, it was 26,216 last year. It's now 27,392. Terrorism was $600. It's now $700. So overall, the increase was 8.99%. Looking at your rates from a property standpoint, you all are about 12.8% cent per hundred. That is very, very good. We've got public entities that are double that. As we go closer to the coast, it's triple and quadruple that. So the rate that you're getting on a per $100 basis is very good. You all get coverage through, and we maintained that when we picked it up last year through the AJ Gallagher's program that they put together for the TVA participants. So you all are part of that program, and we thought that honestly it's the best place for you right now as we kind of figure out, get the property schedules corrected and things of that nature. I do want to point out last year that the two of the properties at 210 West Valley Avenue, the carrier last year decided to not cover those. So we had the gymnasium and the other historical building. They are not covered right now. So we did get a number for vacant building coverage, which is something I think you guys, it's a big number. It's $30,000 by itself just to cover those two vacant buildings. It covers 2 million and 2.1 million. The reason being is carriers don't like vacant buildings. We had a number of declines concerning that. We probably had 7 or 8 carriers decline it because they just don't like empty buildings. So we did have a carrier that did offer coverage. I think that's something that you all may want to talk together as a board and just kind of see if that's something that you want to do. I don't know what the plans for those two properties are at this point, but I did want to put that in your package, and it is in your material. So all in all, the increase for the city and the utility department are very reasonable, 7.25%, which was about close to 2,500 on the city, and 8.99%, which is about just under 5,000 on the utility department would be your increase. And then again, there's some discussion I think you guys probably want to have on the vacant building coverage. Are there any questions?
Anyone have any questions for Mrs. Thompson? I mean, it's a long ride back. Questions? What's your recommendation? Go ahead.
No, I was saying I don't. I appreciate you coming all this way.
What is your recommendation?
Well, my recommendation is definitely to renew the coverage on the city's property schedule and the utility department's property schedule. That's for sure. That's something that we have to do. We got to do that to be in business. I think as a board and a mayor, you guys need to have some discussion on what's the future of those two properties. What's going to be the future usage. If you have something that you already have pegged for it, then it may make sense. If there is nothing, I know there's some roof damage on the one of the historical buildings on that site. We had some damage early last year on the gymnasium. So I think there has to be some decision on what is the future and the future use of those buildings. If there's something that, whether there's funds that you guys are trying to get to preserve them or some other things, then it may make sense. If not, I think you have to consider whatever your budget is and whether or not that fits in your budget. I know the value of the community buildings that we have here. I mean, they have a lot of history. That site has a lot of history. Mayor, you and I talked about that last year. But I know there's some, for any organization, there's budgetary constraints. So
the old building before integration, that was the black school or the school for what was known at that time as for people of color.
Yeah.
One of the things that I looked at for the old 7th and 8th grade buildings is looking to acquire additional funding to turn it into a senatorial library for the late Senator Hiram Revels, that it will be a community center as well. So that's something that I've been working on and trying to piece together. It is very important to the community and the neighborhood that we maintain it and work to find a productive use for that neighborhood. So, well, I appreciate, you bringing this forward. We'll look at it, and, so we'll place it on the next agenda. What day would that be, Ms. Jones?
I think it's the 16th, is that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah. And from our standpoint, you know, if you guys are not voting on the night, that's fine, because we want you guys to have enough chance to look at it, have discussion. So if you put it on for approval on next meeting, just once that decision has been made, you know, Ms. Jones can contact us and let us know, and we can bind coverage. Again, we're ahead of schedule. Last year we were a little, since we're making some transitions, we were last minute, so we try to give the deciding entity a couple of meetings to make those decisions, just in case you have other questions for me. So,
If the aldermen are ready to move forward tonight, that's fine.
yeah, I would definitely suggest that you all approve the renewal for the property and equipment schedule for the city and the property equipment schedule for the utility department, and then you all can have some discussion about the vacant building property if that's some the case. But those two, we know we have to move on.
What's your pleasure?
I don't see it. That is a very minimal change.
Motion to adopt, the property insurance for the general city of Holly Springs Utility Department as presented by Mr. Reginald Thompson with a premium in the amount of, what's that premium?
$37,010. $37,010.
$37,010 spent for both city and.
That's for the city.
That's the
City.
city. Okay, and the utility gain,
$55,035.
I'll make the motion to renew, Mayor.
I'll say it.
it's Bob Johnson, second Bob Steele, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes, 4 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 absent, Ms. Jones. Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Hey, thank you all for your time. And again, if you have any questions on the other part as well, you feel free to call me, and we can have any kind of discussion that you like. Thank you. Bye. Say it.
Ms. Thompson,
Ma'am?
which one is building B?
A is the gymnasium, and B is the other structure.
I don't see them together.
Yeah. So, thank you all very much.
You're welcome, thank you. All right, and so item number 5, I received a letter today, so we're going to do that. Next on Parks and Recreation, just wanted to make people aware again of some of the activities that we have happening. We started the basketball camp on yesterday evening. The fee for that is $25. It will be on Monday and Wednesday nights from 5 until 7 p.m. with the competition games being on Saturday morning starting at 10 o'clock. Also, we have,
Is that all ages?
it starts at the age of 5 and ends at 7, and then they're divided into different teams. And so we did have an ad placed in the paper as well as on the Facebook. So it started last night. So starts at 5 years of age, and I think the 5 and 6 year olds are playing together, 7 and 8 year olds playing, and then up from there 9 and 10, and then 11 to 12.
So it's 5 to 12 years old.
And so that's how he's working now. And so we'll see, Wednesday night, some of the young people have signed up, were not able to make it. So he'll divide them into teams on Wednesday night. So if someone is interested, we encourage them, to please come out and register their child. We will also have the, 2024 summer baseball skills camp. That's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. That one will start July the 9th and will last through July, 25th. And then also on July 15th, we'll start with our 2024 flag football, and that will run from July 15th through July 25th. And all the activities will happen at the multipurpose building at this time. And the fee for each camp is $25, which can be paid at the city clerk's office. And then I also want to just remind everybody that we'll have the July celebration for Independence Day on July the 5th, that Friday, starting at 5 p.m. in Blues Alley. The fireworks will start between 9 and 9:30 p.m. We have the following individuals who have agreed to come forward. We have Mr. Ben Matthews, Miss Amanda C., Lady Trucker, Ms. Karen Wolf, Miss Nikki, and Ms. Sheikah Passeray, the legendary Kojak of Soul, Lady Ray, and then also we'll have, if I get this right, DJ Magic. Is that right? From the Change 92.7. So we'll have that happening on this Friday. Also, the city offices will be closed Thursday and Friday due to the holiday. Next I have, because one of the individuals.
Really quick, no, you're still going on this, you still talking about the Parks and Recs?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to the next motion, which is related to
Oh,
Parks
I
and
was
Rec.
just gonna ask, how are those being, advertised, all the camps? How are
We had an ad placed in the staff report, and then
we?
also
You on Facebook
on
as well
Facebook
or
page.
something?
Yes. Next I have a motion to hire Mr. Trayvon Martin. He is employed right now in our street department, but he was instrumental in pulling a lot of these activities together. So I have a motion to hire him as a part-time employee in the Parks and Recreation Department.
Be Johnson.
Ma'am?
Johnson.
Yes, excuse me, Johnson. Trayvon Johnson. Thank you. Wherever it is.
Because we have another one, Keebler Martin.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Is there a motion to hire Mr. Johnson? Part-time and part-time.
For the part-time employee. It's present time.
Present time, we have Mr. Bo Sellers, and then we have, Mr. Shep. He started a new job, so he's not able to work as many hours. And then we have Mr. Williams, who his schedule depends on what he's doing at the fire department and what he's available to do. Most time he says he can't work on weekends. So Mr. Trayvon pulled together the basketball program for us, like to take those funds from the property department, which we parks and Rec.
And then I would like to discuss at some point, the director for the Parks and Rec.
And that's part of what I want to call you about tomorrow. You mentioned something to me, so I want to talk with you.
Do we have any applicants for that position, or do we need to advertise for it tonight?
We have some that we actually started receiving recently, but we can advertise again, that's fine. But we have recently started receiving some. So that's part of getting someone to, and I want to talk to you about that.
We don't have any former, applicants.
We have some that we have for a while, some that are new. Most people just kind of say Parks and Rec, they didn't actually say the department. But we do have, I don't want to necessarily call their names at this moment, because that's one that I want to talk to you about. But we did have a couple more that I can recall seeing.
I'm thinking all fairness, because I'm happy that we do have a schedule of events for the summer, but I know, we all know Park and Rec one year round. So I would really like to, open up, advertisement for a director along with the applicants that we have now. You know, where it will be fair to all, the ones that we have and some that are out there listening that may be interested to, be able to fill out some applications so we can have those in and done, you know, during the budget season, which I know starts this month. So I want to make a motion to advertise for Parks and Rec director.
Is a move off of council, second by Chip. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes, 4 ayes, 0 nays. And then also we still have item number 8, the motion to hire Trayvon Johnson as Parks and employee in Parks and Recreation.
I move to hire an appoint to hire Mr. Trayvon Johnson, part-time employee to the Parks and Rec Department. Gotta pay for it.
1550.
15.50 per hour.
Is there a second?
So he works at the fire department. He's not doing a lateral
No.
transfer, he's doing an additional duty.
He's in the street department, but this will be part-time, like we did with Mr. Shield. Is there a second? We went ahead this program about it.
I'll say.
Move on, Schiff, second by Alderman Hill. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? 4 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 abstention. All right, next, item number 9, motion to approve the city general bills and claims.
I move to approve city general bills and claims.
The second,
Second.
so move on, Hill, second by Alderman Schiff. All those in favor? Motion passes 4 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 absent. Item number 10 is a motion to approve the city utility bills and claims.
I move to pay the city utility bill.
So second,
Second.
it's a move by Alderman Schiff, second by Alderman Hill. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 4 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 absent in shows. Item number 11 is a motion to authorize a customer refund for customer Brandon P. Smith in the amount of $1,041.85. This is one that the utility department contacted me about this afternoon and requested that we make this refund to this customer. Ms. Demetria Russell is here. If you have any questions or concerns.
So that's the sheet, they contacted you today, we wouldn't have it. You're not gonna see it.
Right.
So what, is she here?
Yeah.
Oh, she is.
Change the hair on. Beautiful. So Ms. Russell, can you explain as to what this is?
It was brought to my attention today that this particular customer was requesting a refund. When I went in to look at his account under the notes, it was an overread for his electric side of the readings. I think it was maybe a little bit over 9,700 kilowatts. So he's requesting his refund back from an overread.
Is the general manager aware of that? And where's the paperwork for that?
It's on the table, it's on the desk. Put it
Is
up.
the general manager aware of that? Can you speak to that? What?
It was communicated
how was
with
that
me
determination made?
through Miss Mason, our county manager. She brought it to my attention today. And she asked me.
Is the general manager aware of that?
Yeah, that won't be.
No, we
I
not aware of it.
I wouldn't know.
Probably because it's, I know that he and Ms. Mason have talked about some of the
Yeah.
things that go forward. Come forward, Mr. Jones, so that they can stop, acting as if you're not in the wrong. Jesus. So, if Ms. Russell, help me out, so you think that it was almost like an overread, and so the person made a payment that was too large, is that what you're saying? We explained that to those of us who don't do this every day.
Yes,
And so
yes, ma'am.
instead of doing a credit to it, the overpayment is being refunded to the customer.
Mhm.
He preferred, yeah.
He preferred, he requested a refund instead of just having that particular credit on his account.
I mean, I don't doubt that and certainly didn't doubt, what has been brought to us tonight. However, I would, as a board member, prefer that this information is given to the general manager and he orchestrates this and bringing this to us because we want to make sure, I would think you would want to make sure that, because this is, not that you don't want to refund a customer if that is warranted, but it perhaps may open a can of. So
Why don't we just discuss the rest of it in general, in a executive session about the refund and everything?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Russell. We'll hold it to some executive session. Thank you. All right. And next, is a matter that I had on the agenda, last week. We had, confusion and different information regarding whether or not, certain positions were salaried or whether they were rated. And talked to, Ms. Jones today, and she did tell me that during the special meeting, that, there was a motion for a change. And I did bring it as well, after doing some research. We had a situation once before with an employee who told that it had to be, salary. And so I want to make sure, that I understand, because I did go back through the general orders as well, and that was part of what I was trying to present to you all. That it did talk about the position of lieutenant is non-exempt. And so, which meant that they would be entitled to it. And so my understanding is there was a motion of some sort last week, but anybody like,
You said the type of lieutenant would be entitled to work.
the police department, it's, entitled to overtime and not be salaried.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the motion? And so, what I did do, some research, because I said, well, now, with the confusion and with being told one thing on one occasion and something else on another occasion. And so I did pull a copy of the general orders, that's what I was talking about. And it does have under the description as well as, some other things that it listed out. And let's see. So I want to make sure that I understand so that I'm on the same page. And so I did pull this. It does say that it was not exempt. This was for 2028. And it does talk about, in addition to that, the duties and responsibilities of a person in that area. And it also talks about qualification of degree, along with a minimum of 5 years work experience as a fully committed police officer or equivalent, which would include a minimum of 7 years work experience as a fully commissioned police officer. Have a minimum of 3 years work experience as a sergeant or higher rank. Must be a certified officer in good standing with the minimum standards board or receive state certification within 6 months of employment. Current employment with the City of Holly Springs Police Department is not required. Must not have job performance related disciplinary actions within the last 12 months of their personnel file, and must be available to work with a patrol or investigative division. And so it goes through that and talks about those. So I want to make sure that you all were aware of those, and I'll scan and send that to you all, to make sure that we are, in compliance with that thing. Thank you.
So my question is that paper saying that a lieutenant is, given the right overtime, or are they?
It says that they can, but it also talks about what the person should have, what those qualifications are, what they should have in order to be a lieutenant. So we want to make sure that as we do one, that we do it all. And, I'll get that out to make sure that we are in compliance with those. And then the next thing that I have is the overtime pay. It was also expressed to me that, say, in some departments, it seems that some people, like there's a holiday, say the July 4th is coming up, and if people worked on it or worked extra hours during that week, they would get paid, say like at the utility department for overtime. But in the street department and building and grounds, they would not get paid for overtime. They would just get regular hours. I had never really heard that before, but I wanted us to revisit that as well, to get some authorization, make sure we're clear, because every time I work as an hourly person, if I worked a holiday and we got time, I never heard of just getting regular pay. And so since there was confusion, I wanted you all to do a motion to authorize that anybody who works overtime hours, even during the holiday, that they shall be paid the overtime. Can I get a motion for that?
Well, I would like to motion that we, of course, I know that we're entering budget season, but to me, this is definitely under the purview of an HR director. This is why we are revisiting who gets paid what. It's ridiculous. Who gets paid salary, who gets paid overtime, so hourly. This is the job of an HR director. I'm not,
Right, so in the meantime, there are people still, and that's one of the concerns sometimes where it's hard to get people to work overtime. They just get the regular pay or not the pay at all, which is, it's interesting that the city has not had any challenges prior to, and so in light of that and fixing it, I'm requesting a motion to do so.
I would request that all employees, what's their salary, that we have that in front of us. It's just, and I understand that something should be done now from what I'm hearing from Madam Mayor. But we're here. It's lasted this long. It won't hurt, I don't think, to.
It would have hurt us this weekend.
It should have hurt us in Memorial Day, it should have hurt us in Juneteenth, it should have hurt us, all the other things that we've had employees that perhaps did overtime, that the criteria was not clear then. So we've had, I don't do like, of course, it's coming up, but I'm just voicing my opinion in terms of.
Thank you. All right, is there a motion to authorize, payment of the, for employees who are hourly workers who work, during the holidays?
And what employees always tell us now. Who's not getting overtime? Salaried employees.
I know, building and grounds,
Time and half.
they're not getting the overtime nor the time and a half. Building and grounds, street department, who else is?
They get the overtime, but they get it at straight pay first until they physically work 40 hours, and then it's
So-
overtime.
Right, but you had expressed that if somebody worked holiday, that they didn't actually work in that time period, so if there was extra, they weren't being paid overtime.
They get
So
straight time
Right, it was straight time, but not overtime.
plus the holiday.
So, right, but they did not receive the overtime. And so,
Hmm.
every place that I know, when I was a clocker in, you got overtime or time and a half. So, in every other place that I know of, and Ms. Jones was saying when she was at the bank, they did not do that, but I had not heard of it.
That's better, because I guess I'm thinking if they're getting the holiday pay, is that what you're saying, Ms. Jones?
Yes, they get the
Plus their
holiday
straight pay.
plus straight.
Is that the same as the time and a half?
It's all,
It's still, you get dual, you get a holiday.
it's almost
pay.
like double.
Like double pay.
What so considered.
But salary people, like if they work the holiday, they just get off.
I know, caller.
They just be off of that day with pay. But if you work it that day, you get your holiday pay plus your hourly pay.
They get paid, but it's at a straight rate. But if they go over, say for instance, if they work one day for 9 hours, 8 hours will be straight, 1 hour will be overtime. Because that 8 hours
So
is
what specific employees are these? We are just talking vaguely.
all
To me,
for
we
the
need
city of
the
Holly Springs.
names, the department, and so that we can streamline and see what is going on specifically. I mean, I think that's why we're in the predicament that we're in, discussing, because we're just throwing things out there vaguely instead of going by departments, going by employees, and see where these people are, these employees are, and what we should do to make sure that they are receiving what is due to them. That's what I request, but.
For the city, it's all. For the general city, it's all. Except for salaried employees.
Specifically.
She's trying to go by the names and position and title and then the amount of money that they're making.
Everybody, as she expressed.
Yeah, it's all, everybody.
Everybody, a direct to salary. So what's your
Nobody.
pleasure?
That's no, that's.
Sure, so,
Okay, I will, yeah, okay.
Are there a group of people affected by the
I
July
understand
1st
where
rule?
she's coming from. I know,
New people affected by
I agree,
the
it's
July
got to
1st?
be done. My,
It's,
it's not a concern, I guess maybe it is. He is riding through town on a lot of Saturdays and Sundays. I feel like we're killing ourselves with overtime too. When there's some things that could be Monday through Friday, that's not an emergency. I understand, a lot of our utility workers that, well, all of them, if they're out on Saturday and Sundays because they have to be. I've just seen people reading meters. I feel like we got to get a grasp on our overtime, is what we saw that last year. We just got hammered on overtime. And part of that is maybe being a little shorthanded.
That's why I mean by specific departments, so you can see, really streamline what they're doing in terms of overtime, see the expectations or the necessities of these departments / individuals. Because that's a whole other ball of wax if you're talking about, when you see on Saturdays, what they're doing, and so forth and so on.
If there's anybody's pleasure to not move forward with that.
I think we need some more discussion there, but I'm thinking like, if these people are renting a building, the multi-purpose building, they having something on a Saturday that is out of the scope of the park and rec normal duty. Now, we don't want to rent a building, the building is dirty. So someone has to come in during those times and have that building prepared for that person that's coming in, and after that person leaves. They got to check out trash. Those are in conjunction with their regular duties. And even at the stadium with the Relay for Life and other events that are lasting up until midnight. They got to come out there and take that trash and stuff out at night. So I'm assuming that's what you're talking about with the overtime, right, Ms. John?
The holiday thing.
No, it ain't. Okay, well, let's just talk about it, let's just table it and talk about it in, executive session. Until we can get a clear understanding, because if that's what I'm thinking, they surely need overtime at time and a half. Because somebody has to do it, it's not in their regular scope. So I just think we can just talk about it there, but I think it's due.
My question is, how long have you seen functioning like this prior to?
Yes, was that question that I didn't understand, and then, so anyway, that's why I decided to go ahead and put it on this.
So it's double pay.
All right. Next, we have, you see, item 13, Gilchrist Tree Removal, you see the amount, the current contractor, Woody's and Ms. Jones, I believe, because I already put these down in front of you all, thank you so much. Where they have provided the quote, there is a tree that fell during one of the storms, and they're having to work around it, not a part of what they, contracted for, but they have provided an estimate of $1,800, for them to, remove that tree, and I'm asking, you all to consider that, and for a motion to authorize, Woody's Lawn Landscaping, maintenance to remove, the tree from Hillcrest Cemetery in the amount of $1,800.
Mayor, if we could possibly hold that, as I spoke the last time, and these guys have done a tremendous job on cemetery, but some of these trees not treated properly are actually poisonous. And I just want to make sure that which tree we're talking about. And I've had some calls from people that are very well known, know the tree that is a yew, if I'm not mistaken. And I just want to make sure these guys are not going to handle something that may harm them. It's not just a tree that you can load up, haul off. So my recommendation would be to hold this until, and I hate they're having to work around it. I know there's probably an inconvenience for them. But I would just I don't think it's a bad price. Well, if there's a tree, I don't know.
That's a holly tree, sir.
It's a holly tree that they're talking
Yes,
about?
sir. It was a holly tree that had two like that, one half of it fell off. So right up here is just a holly tree.
Okay, so
I walk at cemetery.
well, there's a magnolia tree that's about to fall over as well.
I'm just
And
giving
then-
that bit of information,
Okay.
that tree.
Now, if it's a holly tree, I don't mind going ahead. I just didn't want them to get into something that may harm them.
I'm looking at my, yeah, this is the group that they're actually working there, so let's say attempt to do some other things, this came up, so let's see right there. So this is, picture of it. Mr. Taylor said you don't know what Holly Tree looks like.
Well, there's Christmas tree.
Tree, that's a big tree.
Oh,
It's a holly tree, sir.
Yeah, yeah, I just, when you said holly, I'm thinking of a holly.
Yes.
yeah, I like tree. It's a big one.
All right.
And they're requesting to remove the tree.
Sam, to allow,
Holly tree.
Woody's Landscaping Maintenance to remove the tree from Hillcrest Cemetery, at the cost of $1,800.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Removal Alderman Sampson, removal Alderman Teal, second Alderman Sampson. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes 4 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 absent in Jones. All right, item number 14, motion to authorize Mr. Michael Holmes, Mr. Alan Hall, and Mr. Adrian Morales to attend bum training in Sirocco, is that right? She trained Socorro, New Mexico, from Monday, July 15th, 2024 through Wednesday, July 17th, 2024, with no per diem or hotels are needed.
Mr. Weeks just completed this.
Yes,
Right one. I'll make a motion to authorize Mr. Michael Holmes, Alan Hall, and Adrian Morales to attend the bomb training in New Mexico from Monday, July 15th, 2024 through Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. No per diem or hotels. Money.
Is there a second? Remove all, Johnson, second by Alderman Shipp. All those in favor? All those opposed? 4 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 absent in Jones. Now, I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session to determine the need for executive session.
Madam Mayor, before we go into closed session, on our agenda, we have a lot of things, and we have asked and addressed the different projects that we are expecting as a board to at least hear dates that these things will be completed, such as the $600,000 Hill Street project that was supposed to be, help me, Madam Clerk, that was supposed to be advertised or RFQ gotten by March 31st. The $430,000 for the right-of-way crew, the audits completed, the cast iron project, was there any other?
Yes, the sign at the one time. On that. The big one, the other day.
And the signage for the streets, and we were, let's say.
I can touch on some of those for you. One, I need to schedule with Mr. Brett regarding the Hill Street. We talked briefly about it, but have not talked about it with him. So hopefully sometime next week I'll be able to meet with him. On the signage, when I got with Ms. Jones, found out that all the steps that were necessary have not been covered in order to officially change the street name. However, I did get the catalog so that I can look at doing the street, so there are additional steps that should have been taken with that ordinance, so that has not been completed. I have spoken with the utility department regarding the sign out front, so they're still looking at that to see how we can move that forward because of the electrical matters that need to go into that sign. Ashdown is waiting on the audit, did get everything again that the auditor, Mr. Harry Stevenson, mentioned was required. One of the things that he asked for, which was interesting to all of us, was he wanted to have like all of the minutes that the city had done, even for this year, even though the audit was for in a much earlier time period. But we did provide those to him as well. In fact, I emailed him prior to East. I know he told Mr. Jones on one occasion, one day, he told me, well, he hasn't responded lately, but we know he came several times and said it would be about 2 weeks. But he still hasn't responded. In fact, I sent him a certified letter, and that's me finally responded. And what he said during that time period was he needed all the minutes. And of course, those were sent to him up until the last set that was approved. And so still waiting at this point in time, and that is what the cast down project is waiting on.
Well, my comment on those things, we've been waiting and we've been hearing similar stories or similar explanations for the last really 2.5 to 3 years. At this point, I don't know how the other board members feel, but at this point, because none of these projects have been completed. We've been asking about them and we're yet being told, I'm checking on that, I'm going to do that next week. At this point, during the next meeting, if these projects are not given a specific date of completion or next steps have been taken, it will be my motion to file an injunction against this mayor. And I will make a motion to lower the pay of this mayor. We have been, let me finish. We have been, again, looking at these different projects and not one of them has been completed. Not one street in the city has been paved. The citizens are holding us just as accountable as the mayor. So I'm imploring this board, I am imploring my colleagues that we need to take some strong measures and some strong looks and actions because of these projects not being completed. It has nothing to do with personality. This is the business of the city. We've got to get the audit done. I haven't been presented not one audit. They say this one is complete, but I don't know where it is. So at this point, it will be my motion at the next meeting to file an injunction. We've got to get some things done. Today is the first meeting of our last year. July the 3rd, today. I'm not worried about campaigning. I'm worried about getting things done that the citizens employed us to do, just to get the business done again. And there's no plan, there's no schedule to get any of these things done. We can at least get some streets paved. We can get, excuse me, Madam Mayor.
And I appreciate that. Go ahead.
So I have nothing further to say. I've made my plea to please move on these things for the city.
I understand that, and I definitely will look into it. It's just like your first caller, having to deal with people who come in and say they have certain degrees and they don't have them. And they work through those challenges, still getting accredited, finding somebody who actually has the degrees that's required. And we'll work through this as well. We have completed a lot of projects, in spite of all of the opposition, in spite of all of the politicking. I'm very proud of how successful we have been with the things that we have achieved. I talked with you all last week regarding the street paving project, but I won't prolong on that because it does not make a difference as to anything. So with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session to determine the need for an executive session.
Yes, ma'am, I intend to make that motion, but one more thing, I want to revisit my motion for the advertising. I wanted to revisit that and clarify maybe a 2-week advertisement. I just put a time limit on the advertising. So do I need to restate that motion or can I just?
No, we got 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I would gladly do that because they'll get paid.
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion to go into closed session to determine the need for executive session?
I move that we go into closed session to determine the need for an executive session.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Bogart, Captain, second, Bishop. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes 4 ayes, 0 nays.
Right. Yes, exactly.
You laugh at my jokes when I text you.
I was.
Hey, Miss Bo. I'm on my way. I guess that's me. I'm running my mouth too much. I'm done. Honey.
And we spoke to the chief. Eddie Jefferson. No. Okay, I can call it Mr. Charles, I can call it Mr. Jefferson. What time, you said, what time? That's your day. Yeah. Thanks, fine. That's fine. They can't, they don't. Yeah. Okay, all right, okay.
There's one out there.
Yeah. I heard that. That's what it is.
All right. The board voted to go into executive session to discuss prospective litigation in the Parks and Recs Department, personnel matters in the Parks and Recs Department, personnel matters in HSUD, prospective litigation in HSUD, personnel matters in our department dealing with overtime, and then personnel matter in the police department. We appreciate your patience. Corbin, are you finished? Officer Corbin,
Ma'am,
you finished?
that's what. Okay. Oh, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Sorry.
That was kind of
Yep.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
You need to get your certificate, to me tomorrow, so you're paid.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This is one thing. Yeah, we did just go down. I'll let you know some more way to go. Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you. The hiring. Somebody telling what's watching some call.
Ms. Rose?
Oh, yeah, it's clear. But. We had some children trying. Yeah. She has lots of for. What do you think? There's a go on like that as well. We consider kind of local news staff. It's a twin block. On the next time, next week. But no, you can say like that. Yeah, he could. Yes. Yeah, I told you later. Have a good one. I'll tell you, it's like this. Says it's making some kind of law. Bring it up. Most of them that there. Oh, okay. After I opened the door, I was trying to talk. On my coat, that'd be. You got all the guys. That's the. Well, they live the part. Say. Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. It's fun. It's doing the same. Let's be careful. One in Greenfield, 19. 19.
Yeah,
19, 91. Oh, there's no. Yes, no. Yes. Yes, sure. It's all we have to Yeah. I get some pieces. Okay. So, so they might be 36. Yeah. They took. In fact, they took half of it. Someone step out of SWAT. Okay, go to the swimming pool. That one doesn't belong to anybody. Yes, you do. That's the one you like. Now, the one that they don't help you. Is it? All those things that you can take that to you. They got one place sold. I didn't listen to tracks on me, but I said, yeah, but we had you come. 17 miles. I was like, kids, it's got to go back 19. I was low line, then it comes. You can eat water. I was like, oh. But actually, will you be? Which is our book, and sure, and I feel like we did all the acting on the right side. We, most responsibility. You can't even remember anything to us. You know, if it's 16. There'll be some channel logs, he comes back with some snaps. Yeah. I don't know what he's talking about. We don't know. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, that's it. Without that vacuum yet, the way the cooling system is set up, it's got to get the radiator below the heights. So it's the way I've done it, I've fluid up on that. And see how twice. I just jack it on the jack, get it up on the really soon, you're about an inch off the ground, you're up high. But then I won't. I'll be frustrated. I'll brush it, please. I said, my Yeah, three questions. I'm reading for. There was a prior hearing with wrong with one and then you asked about one of the problems that was the six of them. No, the one that was the one you had done out. Star. It was three. I remember it was 3 total. It was the Dodge versus or. Oh, that's the one. Yeah, that's the good one. That was not the good one. It's a good one. That's not that fast. Sure. They beat up. Relay. Pull it out. Back together. Started to maybe 5, 6. Could have person bank, be a short I'm just sure that he was they came back to some slow started being power that could be awesome. That's somehow that you line. I didn't know that. Just like that. Oh, that makes it tough. That's new card, all of them. Working on the bottom. More ports. I think they start in the back. It's slow. The top of the way.
Is Mr. Jones out here? Mr. Payne? Come in.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. You are playing. Yes.
yeah, yeah. I don't think it did. Yeah. Not happy, I think they used to have one. It's on the you know, I did not get that. It's a bit. It's a stream. Brings it to my wife. She was like, the anticipation, you know. But they bring it to you. Yeah, it's just here. Yes. We got to go. Yeah. I've been shot one. Got one, got the trigger twice. Yeah. He did what plays some now. You should have got not even using. Oh, it's, well, okay, go ahead. That's okay. Oh, that's not. Oh. We got it's wow. But it's oil. With it, it's still, it's, Like. She said, no. Actually, they're back from what is it? It's what they. No, it's not. I don't know what you don't know. Yeah, she was like, yeah, that's like, it's like, you know, those something I said, it's $5. It's her dog. It's the same that it is. It's her kids until she had it. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Like something trying to distribute. That's exactly what I call there. That's why we got to like look. If you could cool questions. Essentially, just like that. Yeah. That's it, Eddie. See it, I put but. Yeah. You know them. Sure. Well, yeah, I fix it. Yeah. I think I understand. No, I understand. That she was probably not. I was overcome. Hired on there. Working on all. That's all she was understanding. She was thinking they just getting people over. Oh, no. Working college. Hired you're there. Time. Exactly. You're not. But you that's trying to go out, trying to get off. It's a holiday. Compensated them for this out of the home. That's what they're. It's the whole time. Simple. The whole time. I was still looking at her. No, but
Hey, yeah, it was 70 pushing for eight. For the food.
I think it's just. Called and running this whole time. She's like, I even need to shut the call off, or I need to go get gas. I'm like, go get gas. She's like, I don't like the way that sounds. I'm like, oh, every day about a week. Figure it out. I get it, because, you know, all the seven there, so anything goes. But like I told you, I did put it off for that house. But I have to look at it over in here. It's look at it. I can line of box with that. Get it out there. It's like, That's good. Right? I would go, she didn't say police, she said security. I would go there and like, do your job. I said. Let him ride the like, what was that? That's all. So you didn't say that enough. I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat that one? Clear out here pretty fast. Once I get in that room, you like your coach count. That's the church. Yeah.
Is it fair to say that your relationship after you got out of prison is not the
Hello.
same as it was before?
All right, how you doing? Yeah, I do.
Is your relationship the same with Young Thug since you got out of prison?
But I wasn't laughing. I'm sure he gonna have to make some moves there. I would imagine so, but you got to work. You would have to, look.
Within our. You don't give us 3 or 4 miles, you. The first day trip to the second. Yeah, yeah. For the 27th, 29th. Yeah, the way it's all. It's It's 27 and 29. Yeah, so, so probably, yeah, so I'm gonna go a little bit beyond that, go to like it's bigger. Oh, it's good as that. Yeah, I think, he's good as that from that. Yeah, like, what the speed he left it down there. Far. Only down the hole. Oh, he does some. Oh, yeah, I want to. He said something about it. No, two song, two song, two song, two song, two song. Yeah, 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 it's nice, I hate, you're right. It's like. But it. Yeah, I get that. Hey, about that, this. Oh, you can wait till now. Mommy, what you want here, man? You ate? You wasting your time? I just said what happened. Oh, okay. I'm out of here. We'll retreat. Mom. So what, bro? I'm praying to God.
I say that like, so my, probably, so, he told me before, like, you know, kids, so. So, it's my favorite, you know, you know. And then I'll look over to me now, like, similar. They don't be sick. That's a cow, like a cat. You get the, it's a hot chicken. Same now, do I see the how like he gets like 9. He gives a Walter Tower, the pretty good skill next place. Yeah. Oh, but the king gets it. It's the yeah. Yeah.
I would say your nephew, they go to the blood house. Yeah, he's home. And this meeting. Oh, that is not. I don't go there.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, you should. Yeah.
Amazing, you are.
I'm so funny.
So we'll try to do my see some so well, we're not trying to take this, I said the white up. Actually, yeah, so. Right. Who's talking there? Andrew Madden, Jeff Law, Cheetah Jones, Colin Cuddy, J.C. Jake, so that and Black.
What's his name?
Everybody seems to be like
You're
all in the house. It's not a number. But yeah, okay, probably that's the yeah, all you get it all twice, slaves, and everything to, you know. Oh, some of them. You know, that, it was football. Then again, people know, that's a, okay, about 6 percent. You know, what, very good. Yeah, football. I will listen. They was like that. Okay. So, yeah. So you can hear. Yeah. Oh, then we will see. Then we'll move from piece of trash. Yes, yes. Oh, that it did.
Yeah. They just trying to do today. No, they just can't stand the He got some law. He's got a community car. I don't go to the community car. I'm not on the store, so I'm sure what it's like. Or you heard it. But, that'd be 100. Second. I have to look there, that's why I said always fine. I can put it in that. So, man, you're telling me, what the next one, I can so, well, hold on. You didn't have a tour. Yeah, but with that, they feel bad, they go off there, so they're told them, or Chevy, celebrated the floor, and it's just very nice, shut off there, and so, celebrated the floor. You got some kind of wish to love. Yeah. I'm not assuming it's that's probably. Should never bunch. I break out, you fall out. Hey, my bro, it's off like a house. The security, I don't know. That's all. That's all. Let's go. Yes. This is actually I think the voting either. Yeah. I don't know. That's easy right there.
I'm not this whole time, I'll be busy. Keep that job down if I thought we. You said that. So I'm gonna make some food. Here, all right. Yeah, but maybe next 30 minutes. Next 30 seconds. But it's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Well, the next 15 seconds. It will be 8 o'clock. It's
Yeah, he knew, Coach was here. Oh. With him, we go. Say, okay, set. Yeah. I was asking about what game was the day, I thought some kind of day. Who they are, I got it now, but I got an e-crash today, I got a email, I got an e-crash too, and, yeah, 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 that's some that's wrong. I thought he was going to get some new, and she had, which was she didn't get a PO, she don't have this. I had that out there, $80. Also, she said, oh, okay, well, we gonna send over there tomorrow. Get that PO.
Yeah, some be the 20% for you guys, sitting in that, Ford Ranger that night.
I'll see, you better.
fell. So, but, back. I might give another year or so. I'll be able to see. That was 36. Yeah. 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 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he did. In the house, it's still the same. You just have to take it. Inside, side. Get the out of it. That's an extra thing you got to buy. Oh. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Page 14, dispatch, all units in service, number 4.
Oh, yeah, yeah, all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, please. Question.
Yeah. It was no, she gonna get the bill. I've heard it. I've heard. She got her bill. She get she paid that on her.
Keep on.
Business. Next year. I won't be in crime. Yeah. No, I have a lot of farm. I don't know. That's what you want. Really qualified. So I don't really, you know, especially I'm not going to. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I want to read. Showing it to you. Outdoors all the time, you go back. It's not. Um, you have full, so why don't you have that? Oh, yeah, they go see them for. Didn't leave by 5:30. Up there. Insert. But you, what, what's the, there? Just. We'll be there. Yeah. Yeah, that was our thing. Yeah, so you got 4:30 in the schedule, but I keep going. And turn around left there, but, just let you go on, so, it's 40, 11. You know, they can't feel it. You can sit out there, just about 3 quarters, and then you pump.
Yeah, here. Hey, Randy. How you doing? Good. I'll be right with you. They like Snow White. I will, always. I'm safe out there and then hear from. All right, thank you. Give me a call. Sir, appreciate you coming.
It's only slipped my mind.
That's all right. I know you had a lot going, you had a lot going on.
It's only slipped my mind. It's on the real side.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'm on the other side of the wind.
Sorry, sometimes when you're doing what's right.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing is, I can see a person. And you'll talk about karma.
Still in here, I do it.
So, you can wait and see.
Okay.
I don't, so far nothing has transpired. So, so I don't know. Hopefully they'll come soon. I think one of my cousins died, so it's not going to check on him.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that tough with brother?
Yeah, bro.
You live in Detroit, wouldn't you? Yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, I didn't see that. I think about 2 years ago, might be a year ago. I know Thursday down the road for you.
That's right. Perfect, so. I'll be just lost if he's in call. Yeah. I'll say, that's it. You should check that one.
So that's real all part of that big stuff. Well, I like streets Monday, Thursday, on the kind of Fort William, when you text me. I said, oh, God. I'm going down here to that street. Okay. I'll let my mother know.
So make sure I would, so, I'm just gonna, but you know, I don't get out. You are? I've heard about things years now.
They just.
Yeah, but you can't.
They what?
One person, especially who doesn't involve.
Oh, they shut down the shower.
Hey, so they know, so, yeah, I shoot them, give them a call, so this is the first time they must be with you. Yeah,
Was.
What do you say?
Hey, John, you also. They are just some. If you're not in some shut off, then you know.
I have to look at the calendar and say, and so probably in the morning and, send it to all of us. When something happened at his event last year. That's kind of like.
Yes.
Maybe it's better. Broke my glass. Pretty good.
Yeah, maybe let's first check to see if the date is available. And the next thing is.
I think it does. Like lights out, great. They said, you know, these are the OPC real sales. They said that they're, you can't break. You just see it pop, all it pops back together, like those. Snag it on the booth, bring it on, pop it back on. Oh, that was half behind it. Actually, I don't know if you need that. Got any more call questions? Call. Yeah. All right.
No, hell, I thought he killed the mosquito. I thought he killed the mosquito in the room. I looked up too. Yes.
You need some courage, your heart.
You need some meth.
You need the courage, some heart. You need some heart, some nuts. I need some medicine. Okay.
Mad about your girlfriend.
You ain't got that. What about your boyfriend? You ain't got no girlfriend.
Mad about your girlfriend.
You ain't got that. You ain't got that.
Mad about your girlfriend.
You ain't got that.
You mad about your girlfriend.
You ain't got that. You got a boyfriend.
Man, cause I don't care about your girlfriend.
I don't give a fuck about you.
Man, cause I don't care about your girlfriend.
Hey, that's your business. That's your business. That's your business. You may have to change that thing. You can't get that. Care about what you care about. Honestly. Honestly. Who really cares about what you care about and what you don't care about? Because be for real. Be serious with who you are. Serious. Serious. It was important. Somebody thought that your opinion mattered. Would be different. We need to close that now. I need to talk. Science opinion is more than your grade. I would be more concerned about the plans. For real, this opinion carried more weight than you. I would remove myself. I don't care what you remember. You was in the alley, so in my opinion, carry more weight than you. You've been working on the police for 40 years, don't nobody respect you. How they feel? And I just get drunk, lay out eggs. Yeah, you sure did. But mother, you respect me right to this day, and they do you. And I rescued you police one night. 40 years. You know, I rescued you. People don't even respect you. Remember that guy would tear you up? I rescued you one night. Get out of here. Up in the alley? Get out there. Getting tore up in the alley. Yeah, listen. You ain't got no respect. Period. And never would have. Zero.
They said, I went out there to the place to do something out there. So we need to, they finished. Yeah, we got to come to our next time, so you know. It's the ball out there, now, finished. I don't think they probably, they said, they're out in the thing. That's why it's this. Shout out to me, she still left me.
We don't want to play that game. Oh, we don't want to play that game at all. We don't want to play that game at all. I'm telling you, let me tell you something that I know.
You let me tell
And
you,
y'all deal with it.
I don't play the girls.
We don't play that game. You better start acting like one. That's a fact. Is that, well, you don't have a quorum yet.
Okay, I'm waiting on, hey.
Second.
Oh.
Moved Alderman Bamford, second by Alderman Tilton to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? 4 ayes, 0 nays. The board voted to come out of the executive session, oh yes, and, also voted to adjourn as a recommendation to terminate Mr. Marvin Bruce in the Parks and Recs Department. However, it did not receive a motion. So we're adjourned. And then also, I will allow Alderman Ship to announce the other actions that they took in executive session in related to, police department. To
Yeah, I think there was 2 or 3 votes, 2 votes. I think it was 2 votes that were taken from the police department.
Yeah. Yeah, the first, item was to restore Lieutenant Sanders' key fob and, into the meeting. The next motion was to suspend Jerry Jefferson for 3 days.
And the Bowen personnel file.
And also, Chief Bowen's, grievance, passed, and his write-up should be removed from his, personal file.